Hello there, and welcome to Unreal World. Unreal World, I think, is a very interesting game. Let me just read you the intro here. There are countless stories, legends, and myths about the first winter. During the first winter, the Inamo became many. Men, wives, children, the heroes and the wise ones walked the earth. The heroes made the fire, they made the bow and the arrow, and they hunted. They made clothes, they made tools and shelters, they made skis, and they made drums and the cantel. When the first winter was over, Inemos could not understand the wind singing, nor the bear and the forest humming. The wise ones among the people said that the world was no longer real. The world was unreal. So this game is, I guess, a survival roguelike of sorts. And I think it's very cool because it's set in like the Iron Age in Finland, I believe. So we will be playing that Viking life, and I don't think we'll be doing any sort of raiding overseas or anything, but we will be hunting around and, trying to stay alive, building our home and defending our neighbors from any potential threats. So, what is a good Nordic name? You know what, we'll go with Kveldulf, because why not? I think it's cool. There is a lot of choice in this game, and there is a lot of information that you can take in. For now, I don't know a heap about this game. I have played it a little bit, but not very much. So I'm going to go with the very first choice here, the Kumalainen, I believe is probably not how it's pronounced, but it's how it looks, or Kalmalainen or something. So let's go look at these guys. They are Eastern peoples, I believe? Yeah. Kalmalaiset is the people we were going with. So the Kalmoan people, or those who live in the Kalmo, live in the vast forests. The families don't live next to each other, so instead of proper villages, their houses are scattered around sparsely. They tend to be tough, tall, and strong people whom are proud of their freedom. They live mainly on active hunting and fishing. On their hunting trips, Kalmar men can spend weeks alone in the wilderness, tracking and stalking for prey. They are well known for their Kalmalai spear, which is specifically designed for hunting big animals. Kalmar region is rich of game, providing fine quality furs. That is why Kalmalai set have to defend their homes and hunting grounds against Njirpa's raiders. In combat situations, the Kalmalai set are fearless and furious, putting up heavy resistance with a spear, a knife, or even with their bare hands. So I would like to just quickly check what these Njirpas are, except I can't reach it. I can't reach it. Alright, fine, we'll use the mouse. Njirpazit are of Eastern race. Black-haired Njirpaz men are considered notorious bandits. Njirpaz men do attack other people, killing, robbing, and raiding. Their typical melee weapons consist of spears, scimitars, and round shooters. Chieftains might have helms and lamellar armors, and more rarely mail gear. Oh boy. Njirpas are interested in furs, those of squirrels, bears, wolves, beavers, and lynxes. Animal fur is of the very best quality in the Kalmo, and the merchants of the southern domains are willing to pay plenty for the finest northern furs. Njirpazits strive for conquering the hunting grounds of Kalmalaiset, and this is what they have been doing for decades. Okay, so these guys will be our main rivals, which are, I think, one of these guys? One of these northern tribes. Northern people, the Owl tribe. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're not a playable group of people. Just marauding bandits that we have to deal with. That's okay, we can jump in as Kamalainen. We can play as male, why not? I'm not sure there's even any difference in mechanically, but we can go with male because I think Kveldulf is a male name. It's like... No, I think Kveldulfer is son of the wolf, so this would just be like the wolf or something. But I might be way off. Let's go with this guy, because why not? I love these portraits, these are great. Like, it just... I really hope that these are just like random mates of the people who made the game. They're just like, hey, yo, guys, you want to come out to the woods and take some photos with us? Sure. By the way, can you wear some, like, just old-timey chill gear? Let's go with this guy. And I think starting in spring will be a good idea, because that will give us 3 seasons to really get to know everything, and winters, I'm sure, will be very harsh. So let's go with that. Let's look at our stats. We have huge strength. If we use these stats, I can re-roll, and these will just randomly shuffle around. Having above average will, I think, is fine. And high intelligence is pretty good because I think it affects learning. I don't know entirely how these stats interact with each other. But, you know, you can assume a lot from it, I suppose. So you've got your strength and endurance. Having high endurance is good. Dexterity is whatever. Agility, cool. Speed, yep. Eyesight, so we'll have very good perception. Hearing, yep, that might help us if we're asleep and something comes around. Smell and taste, I don't know, grub skill, I guess. And touch. We're pretty good at touching things. Yeah, also 111 kilos. Big fella, 200 centimeters. Big fella. Yeah. Let's go with that. Also in this game is spells and magic. So these are just general things. I'm not sure how much of a bearing they really have on the game. But, I mean, you know, I'll try play with them. I'll see what they do. So let's just take a look at what spells we'll start with. First off, we have a general sacrifice, which is all-round way to sacrifice something in order to please or thank the spirits and otherworldly beings in various occasions. So that could be nice to do. I don't know. Maybe if we like save somebody's life or we get a big hunt or something, that could be fun. Bear skull right. After the bear is brought down, its skull eventually needs to be placed to hang in a big lone pine tree. That completes the hunting and burial ceremony and assures proper circulation of the bear spirit. Okay, so if we take down any bears, and that might be a big if, they're probably very deadly. But should we take down bears, we will have to remember to hang its skull in a big lone pine tree. I wonder if I can cut down trees around it and like force a tree to be lone, or like how strict that is. Making foxes to come at the bait? Huh. Baiting a fox trap at your hunting grounds should be done just around sunset. Okay, that seems more like a tip than a spell, but sure, we can do that. I can look into hunting and trapping things. That sounds fun. Mittens for bear hunting. Bear hunters' mittens shouldn't be made of whatever material. It's the dog fur mittens you should wear in order to have your weapons to be effective and cut the bear good. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, I guess we need dog fur mittens at some point as well if we want to push towards a bear. That's fine. That's alright. There are like other things you can get, like these I think are somewhat randomized. I think these two I've seen most games that I've played. But you can also get things that are like just consecrate the land before you go to sleep to, like, you know, ward off any bad spirits coming at you while you sleep and things like that. And we'll probably unlock more things as we go along. So, this is our skills screen, and there are a lot of them. And that's okay. We have 5 points that we can spend. Well, I don't think I need to go into all of this now because, like, yeah, there's a fucking lot of them. And I'll use them as we go along with the game. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 5 points to boost some of our skills. So, spear and bow, I think, are very good to have very high skill of. Axe is also a good thing to have because axe you also use for chopping down trees and whatnot. So being good with an axe is pretty solid. Also, if I really want, I can... Okay, never mind, I can't pull points out of these. I was thinking, wait, maybe I can, I'm just pressing the wrong button. Nope. That's fine though. So yeah, with 3 points left, I think we're good on the fighting front. Unarmed, hopefully, will never come into play. I really don't want to take things on unarmed. Axe could be good to boost up, but I want to get some of these skills up. Also, our swimming is novice, which could be very bad if we ever fall through ice. But hopefully we don't ever fall through ice. Also, jeez, our stats are very bad. Our skills are very bad. So what do I want to do here? I want to, like, no, not Timbercraft. I want to up physician. Tracking is cool. Trapping, I guess, is a good idea since we have a spell to go with it. Cooking is adequate, so I think that's fine. We can instead boost something else to give us a bit more survivability. Timbercraft, I don't think there's any stress to increase. I think they'll increase as the game goes along, and yeah, you know, it won't be a life or death matter. So fishing, I think, might also be another good idea. Fishing, I guess, is a good way to gamble on just easy food, because all you have to do is throw in a fishing rod and sit and wait. So that could be what keeps us alive initially. Also, I'll probably be choosing a very easy start as well, just so, if worst case scenario, we can trade with some villages and whatnot. So, is this what I want to do? We'll have no agriculture, so I won't be able to grow anything. But I think that'll be fine. We can rely on fishing and trapping to provide us with all the food that we need. And we can build some shelter for ourselves. And gradually try and work our way out from our starting area. So I think I'm happy with this. Alright, and this is our world map. Up here, you may be able to see this little, or this medium-sized red square. There is some tiny red square over here. I wonder what that is. That's a part of the Owl tribe. This is our cultural region indicators. This dark green one right here is us, the Calmo. And if I took this start, we would be starting in a very dangerous position, I am sure. That is right next to a river, so we could get water and whatnot very easily. Look at that. Is this a mountain or something? That could be interesting to explore. But, no. I think we will start in our home culture. Also, let's go take a look at this and take a look at our terrain. I would like to start somewhere along this river. So I'm going to keep cycling the H button until we get something that puts us along here. I would like to be a bit more northern as well, though, because I'd like to have some conflict with these guys. We are bordering each other, so I think that will make for some interesting times. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Zoom in on that. We are almost at our most northernmost part. I think these little, I don't know, glitchy pixel blocks, I can't even tell if they're supposed to be something. But I think these markers are settlements. And yeah, we can start here, head on up to the river. Maybe you travel to some of these places, speak with some of those, get some quests. But I like the look of this. So how's about we enter and play this world? So yeah, there's a bunch of starting scenarios that you can also pick. And all sorts of things, which is, you know, you can just start in the middle of nowhere and just run around. I think I will go with starting with the village, but we can have a quick look through all of these. So the runaway slave would be, having been a slave to the Neopazit for years, you finally take a step to escape from your captors. Oh, that could be a fun scenario, actually. I don't know enough about the game, though. I would just die. I would die because of not knowing how to survive. So let's not do that just yet. Unfortunate hunting trip. Your father lies dead on the ground, and the beast who killed him is still present. Ooh, scary. So I guess, you know, we could loot our dad for some extra starting gear that we could maybe sell or use. But we might die to a bear or something. Also, I could probably bury Dad and appease his spirit. In fact, not burying him might make his spirit restless. What else? There is Lonely Settler. You find yourself alone on a foreign ground with 2 unfinished cottages. Well, I mean, yeah, cool. That's eventually where we'll want to get anyway, but yeah. So there's Hurt, Helpless, and Afraid. Wounded and left for dead, you struggle to survive in the wilderness. Oof, brutal. traps and trapping. You start playing fully equipped with tools for passive hunting. Could be handy. I want to be a fisherman. Carrying extensive fishing equipment, you start to follow your path as a fisherman. I believe in the scenario I'll be playing as, we get a fishing rod anyways, so I think that's really, I guess aside from the extensive part, there might be some extra things you can use for fishing like bait. Oh, surely there's bait. Maybe there's even some lures or something like that. I'm not sure how old lures are in terms of a technological innovation. But I imagine they'd be pretty old, right? Like, if you can figure out how to not use food to catch your food, then that's better than using food to catch your food, right? Seems like something humans would have been on top of. Anyway, abandoned trap fence. You find an old trap fence in the wilderness. Cool, alright, I guess that's a light version of traps and trapping. Abandoned camp. You find an old camp with a shelter, firewood, and useful items. Could be handy. Agriculture. You possess some valuable seeds and are ready to try out your agricultural skills. We have no agricultural skills, so let's not do that. There be robbers! You encounter a band of ruffians in the wilderness. Oh fuck no. Not yet. I'm not ready for that. Not all who wander are lost. You set out into the unforgiving wilderness with a four-legged companion. That could be fun, but I would just get them killed right now. So let's just start with the village and have a look at this. One sec. Alright, so at the age of 16, you've left your home and village. During your childhood and adolescent years, you have learnt the skills and ways of your people until you decided it was time for you to go search for a path on your own, whatever it might be. One day, a small party of men from your village were about to go on a trading journey to some faraway tribes. They promised to lead you to the village that was on their way, if so wished, from where it would be more safe for you to start living on your own. And so it was. The party left you standing outside the village as they continued on their way. Houses in the village seemed very cozy after the long trip, but about the people you weren't too sure. You knew that you hadn't come here just to settle down again, but it would probably be a good idea to see what the village had to offer before rushing ahead. Cool. And starting at the village provides a safe way to start playing. You may equip your character carefully before going out to the wilderness and have a safe place to return to if you face setbacks or dangers on your journeys. Neat-o. Let's start with this scenario. We really won't be able to equip ourselves with very much, with really anything, because I don't think I want to trade any of my starting gear. And I don't think we start with any money or any sort of things like that. I think it's purely barter item for item. Yeah, I don't think there is money in this game. Anyway, so yeah, beyond that, there are 3 more modes you can pick from. And this is just like kind of tutorial, advanced tutorial, and then free play. So living in the wild is what I'll be going with now. And perhaps if I complete it today, I can move on to advanced adventures. So that'll be cool. And this will be tasked to teach you the basics of wilderness survival and to test your survival skills as you roam across the land and explore the wide world. This game course starts with easy and fundamental wilderness survival tasks and slowly gets you accustomed to living in the wild, eventually bringing you among people and ways of more settled life. Well, shit, maybe I'm not doing the right scenario then. Well, I'm starting in a village pretty much, so let's just do that anyway. Cool. Character creation completed. Kveldulf Kalmalainen is about to enter the unreal world. This world will surely teach one, if nothing else, than to walk slowly. I like that, that's a good proverb. Let's get in. So yeah, this game has a lot of information. But for any first timers out there, you can always check this out. Already, as I said, played a few games in this, but I haven't gotten very deep. And this is just, compress F1 at any time to open up the encyclopedia and get an idea. You know what? I'll read an introduction to the world. Why not? So, the Unreal world. Among the peoples, there are several different runes and myths about the origin of the world and how it became unreal. However, a common core is clearly visible, which is not a surprise, as all the peoples are of the same origin. The basic myth goes as follows. In the beginning, the world was bare and silent. The wind, the forest, and all the animals were formed out of the song of Skyfather and Earth Mother. As all the creatures sung together, the Inemo woke up and joined the singing. But the harmony was broken when the Inemo had to build a lodge for a shelter in the first winter. And when the first winter was over, the wise ones among the peoples realized that the world was no more real. Interesting. I could go more into these, but, let's get into some gameplay, I think. So, the story below is a description of your startup scenario and a rough background of your character. You may find it interesting to follow, or you can just ignore it. It only tells you what brought your character here. The rest is up to you. There are so many paths to follow, so many scenes to see, so many wind breezes to feel, and ever so many secrets to find from the world around or within you. Cool, and this is just what I read of the town start. So press a key to continue, the Unreal world awaits. And here we are. There is a fair bit of information to take in, and this is, just a condensed screen, so that's good. We can go through all of this. It is dawn, I believe. Yeah, morning. And we have some good weather. It's quite warm. And if I press I, we can check. No. We will jump into other things first. But this is where we are. We are at Sacred Stream in northern Calmo. And just above us is the village that we start next to. And yeah, latter winter, so getting into spring. Day 2 of the second week before summer season. Okay. Yeah. Carrying a bit of weight, that's just all our gear, and that does give us a 4% penalty to our skills and abilities. There is a wind going 4 kilometers to the northwest. So that's useful for hunting, which we'll get into eventually. We are comfortably warm and vigorous, nourished, not hungry or thirsty, and here's what the game is waiting for. As you explore the wilderness, a settlement comes into view up ahead. Press space to continue. Here we go. Okay, so this is essentially our list of quests. A lot of things to do, but this is, the tutorial. This is the basics of the game. So we can get into the advanced stuff once we get beyond this. I think as far as I've gotten is spell. And yeah, I unfortunately ran out of time to do that. So we'll check this out. Water is essential. Explore your surroundings until you find a source of fresh water, like a lake or even a pond. Then take a big gulp of fresh water and start out again with new strength. In the winter, it won't be so easy. You'll need to use your fishing skill to make a hole in the ice. Oh, that's how you fucking make a hole in the ice. I was trying to figure that out. Cool, that's good to make a mental note of. If you're wondering what's in a certain location, you can take a look and examine it if it's within your field of vision. We can do that with L or F3, and we will use quaff, which is Q, to drink something. Cool.